My name is Kevin Smith. I'm the chairman and the co-founder of Spine. We're an advanced visualization studio located in South Florida. The story of Spine really began back in 1996 when I was attending Virginia Tech to get my master's degree in architecture. While I was preparing for my thesis defense to graduate, my roommate invited me for drinks to join him and a friend that was in town. He lived in Hawaii and had broken his back cliff diving, believe it or not. After numerous surgeries, they had actually inserted titanium plates and screws into his vertebrae. He was able to miraculously recover and walk again. He had his x-ray clips scattered all over the bar, which led to some very creative discussions about the fusion of technology with the human body, how the spine is connected to the brain, provides stability, flexibility, and each vertebrae is interconnected and dependent on one another for everything to function properly. So after a few drinks, the name spine kept coming up in the discussion, and we started to make a connection with how it served as a metaphor for the design process. And at that moment, that's when I stated that if one of us had the opportunity to open up a company down the road, that the name would be given serious consideration. And shortly after this gathering, I graduated with my degree in architecture and was hired at a company called Spillis Candela and Partners, which was later acquired by AECom, which is one of the largest architectural companies in the country. And I started up what was called the Advanced Technologies Division, and this is where I met my first, my two future business partners. Their names are Johan Beckford and Eddie Leon. And we basically took care of all the projects that required some form of 3D visualization. And really at that time, it was really just renderings and it was animation. It was more traditional 3D. But it was here, I worked there for 3 years. And basically after that, I was offered a position to become the computer director at the School of Architecture at Florida International University. And it was here where I decided to basically research ways to take my expertise and expand my service offerings. So in 2003, I teamed up with my two partners to establish what we called Spine Studios. And this was a visualization studio that we're here based in South Florida. It was actually in Miami. It was originally set up as an umbrella company that could have many different disciplines all centered around architectural design. And we started with 3D visualization and soon discovered that this is what really excited us the most. So we changed our name to Spine 3D, and we're primarily focused on the real estate and AEC industries. And eventually we expanded into every market sector, and we decided to pare it down to just the name Spine. So what started out as a metaphor for design, the name Spine has also evolved into an acronym, which we call Spatial Interactive Experiences. And our architecturally trained team specializes in the creation of visual assets for design, marketing, and sales. And these assets include 3D modeling, rendering, animation, video production, AR, VR experiences, and even video production. Well, I mean, while there are lots of talented artists and studios who offer similar services, what I feel differentiates Spine from others are a number of things. First, we have been in business for 20 plus years and we have a proven track record. We've worked with clients and projects in just about every market sector. We're very, very blessed. Our largest client to date is actually Norwegian Cruise Lines. We have constructed digital twins of 7 cruise ships and 2 port destinations. We also use a project management platform. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's called Basecamp, and it really ensures smooth communications with our clients. It holds our clients accountable for providing us with all the necessary information to complete the deliverables and approvals from stage to stage. It also holds our team accountable for keeping things on schedule and showing the various, iterations of the work prior to completion. And, we really focus our energies on delivering a higher level of photorealism. That's like one of the biggest things. And we really are specialized in using the Unreal Engine to deliver VR experiences for our clients. The Unreal Engine is it's a software application that we use. It's actually used quite a bit in the film and video gaming industries. When I used to teach at Florida International University at the School of Architecture, uh, I was always fascinated how the gaming industry and the film industry were leap years ahead of the architectural industry. And, when they started to offer that platform or that application to the architectural industry, we started to experiment with it. I never felt like the bandwidth was it wasn't at a level that was could match what we could create with the traditional software application that we were using, which is 3D Studio Max and V-Ray. But eventually, it did catch up, and now we're using the Unreal Engine to produce pretty amazing VR experiences, where you can walk clients through projects in real time, similar to a video game, and the quality uh, rivals what we can produce with our traditional software. That's a good question, Sean. For AR, which is augmented reality, I think it's a great type of technology that will allow customers to place digital representations of their product lines in the real world. And that can be done to test scale, it can be done to test materiality, and to share on social media. We had done a project for Marvin Windows a number of years back. It was actually when augmented reality was in its infancy, and they had a new sliding door product, and they wanted us to be able to create some type of QR code at a trade show where you could target your phone. At the time, it was actually an iPad, anything with a camera on it, and you could actually place the sliding door on an actual wall in the trade center, open and close it, and even control the background environments. So that's the possibilities are really endless. I also feel that these product manufacturers, they've got a series of product lines that typically or traditionally they'll print out catalogs to send to architects, people who spec out their products. And I can see where you also could have, give your customer, whether an architect, an engineer, or an end customer, the ability to scan an actual product out of a catalog and actually drop it in their hand or place it in their real world, put it on their desk. It can be annotated where you could click on different spots to learn more details about the product. Uh, there's really no limit to what you can do with augmented reality. With virtual reality or VR, um, we can actually create, for instance, a virtual showroom to extend what can be shown at a trade show or in a physical showroom. There's really no limitations to this. One of my biggest frustrations when I would set up a booth at AIA or some of these other trade shows, I could only afford to get a 10-foot by 10-foot booth. Uh, so imagine, you want to show off, let's say, 50 different products, and you're showing it on a video. That's great. But imagine giving somebody the ability, either through a headset where they put it on, you could walk through an entire warehouse virtually. You could walk over an entire city block. There's really no limits to what you can do. It really expands your square footage and gives you all kinds of creative possibilities to show your products in a creative way. Wow. Where do we start? Um, I mean, first and foremost, well, the one that really kind of sparked everything with Spine when it came to working with building product manufacturers was Hubble Lighting. I used to exhibit over at the AIA convention, and really, I was very naive and closed-minded. I was, really just focusing my energies on marketing to architects. I was an architect myself, so I just felt like what a great opportunity to get in front of architects and share my services. And some architects would be interested in our services. A lot of them were going there for their AIA credits, and they were going there for seminars and things like that. So they would grab my brochure. I'd watch them walk down the aisle, and sometimes they would even toss my brochure in the garbage. But anyway, a light bulb came off. And again, this is I was wet behind the ears, and I was just starting my company, and I walked by a booth from Hubble Lighting, and the director of marketing at the time, her name was Rhonda Rogers at the time. She was marketing her lighting products, and they had a photograph on the back of their booth, and it showed one of their lighting products staged, I think, in an office. It was a healthcare environment. I forget exactly what it was, but when she looked at my catalog, she said, can you create something like this digitally to stage my products? And I had never really thought about it at the time. And she was telling me the challenges they were facing was, every product that they would come out with, they had what they called this war room in their warehouse. And it was a conference room. They would have to, put in new carpet, new tile. They'd have to paint it different. They'd have to install their fixtures. They would have to, cater it. They would have to break it back down. And in more expensive examples, they would actually have to get permits on buildings that were maybe still under construction. There were security issues when you're dealing with things like hospitals and schools. So we basically started to produce what we refer to as application renderings. And it saves companies like Hubble and a whole number of other clients lots and lots of money and time, because we're able to construct virtual representations of any space, whether it's exterior or interior, to accurately stage their products. And for a lighting company like Hubble, they're also looking at accurate representation of their lighting. So, our software is very sophisticated. We can match, the wattage, the lumens on the light, the throw of the light, the color of the light. We can also match the time of day based on latitude and longitude if we're doing exterior shots. And this really opened up the door to Spine. I mean, and it also opened up the door for me to realize that, here I was at AIA, and it's surrounded by building product manufacturers, and they were the ones that probably could benefit most from my services. So we cracked in by doing what we refer to as application renderings, and now we're working with lighting companies, we're working with furniture companies, you name it, kitchen manufacturers, to again virtually stage your products in static images. And the beauty of this as well is once we've created these digital environments, we can then scale, and we can create animation trailers, we can do virtual showrooms, we can do augmented reality experiences. So basically you're not starting from scratch. We can leverage those assets and create a whole myriad of other product offerings. So that was my first customer story. Another really cool one is with a company called LX Houses. I had learned at that time that it was a subdivision of LG. And when I think of LG, I think of appliances, I think of electronics, TVs, things like that. And they had a subdivision, LX Houses, which specializes in kitchen countertops, bathroom countertops, flooring, things of that nature. And their director of marketing at the time, Elizabeth, she had reached out to me, and she simply was looking for us to take photographs of an existing kitchen and see if we could just take photographs of their materials and swap them out in some kind of interactive fashion on their website. And after doing some more digging with them and really trying to understand their needs, we actually came up with a concept to create a virtual showroom. It was actually a virtual kitchen and bathroom showroom. And what we did is we created 4 kitchens, and you can go to our website and actually visit it. 4 kitchens and 4 bathroom designs. These were different styles. It also had a slab viewing showroom where you could actually pull up the actual slabs at full scale and compare them. And you could basically walk around in 360 on their website and actually design and configure your own kitchen and bathroom. And it was so successful for them. We actually put an elevator in the lobby in this interactive showroom where they can add different floors. So we can have commercial that can be added on later. They also had us convert this interactive experience into an actual virtual reality experience where they load that at trade shows as well as in their actual headquarters. So that was a really, really cool project for us. And the last one I just wanted to finish with was Assa Abloy. Assa Abloy, had never heard of them before. Company out of Sweden. They focus on creating door opening solutions, and very, very sophisticated. Scanning your retina, your fingerprints. They had come across a project we had done on our site, and it was an experimental project called Expo 2000X, and it was a virtual city. And when they saw that, it really sparked their marketing team to want to create an Assa Abloy city. And they wanted to create this interactive 3D VR experience where you could walk through Assa Abloy city and learn about all their products and all the applications. We scaled them back when we figured out what their budget was, and we talked them into creating a campus. And again, you can go to our website and you can check out the Assa Abloy campus. But we started with a university building for college campuses. And they had no idea what it would look like. They had no drawings. So again, with our architectural experience, we designed a university campus for them from reference photographs. And it was really amazing. You can actually go through there. You can click on all the door hardware. You can learn about them. They'll take you to landing pages. It has augmented reality capabilities where we can add that on if you want to put the actual hardware onto doors in the real world. And we have already done 2 different phases for that campus. So we started with the university building. We went to a K through 12 edition, and we also did a healthcare component. So this is something that they can continually add on to. And again, it's all about being able to leverage the money that they've spent to create their marketing materials and coming back later on, adding new products, adding other, phases to their project, if they have a different market sector they have to serve. So that was an amazing experience. That's another great question, Sean. I mean, I personally feel our architecturally trained staff, they understand how to read, translate drawings, specifications. Most of the 3D companies that you might work with, they don't have architectural backgrounds. They're artists. They might be talented, but they don't understand the language of architecture. And this does lend itself very well, our experience in architecture, to having a clear dialogue with product manufacturers, architects, engineers. But I think one of the most important components of being an architect is we can assist with design. And there's so many clients like the one I just shared with you with Assa Abloy. They come to Spine with an idea. They have an idea in their head, but they have nothing that's drawn out. So we can help take these ideas, these concepts, and make them come to life. And that's one of the most exciting things, because our artists, while they are architecturally trained, when we're given projects where it's just where we're kind of taking their drawings and we're just taking it to the finish line, we are accustomed to doing a lot of that. But some of the most exciting projects that we work on at Spine is where we're also able to use a lot of artistic license, and it's an exciting, liberating experience, not just for our team but also for the client.